Is the half shekel or the shekel more sought off of? Really?
Shekel, because of the mention in the Bible of Judas being paid 30 pieces of silver, which would have been these.
Would have been the shekels probably instead of the like. I wondered if the half shekel was more sought after than the shekel for collectors.
No,
or it really doesn't.
No, the full shekel, because that's what Judas was paid.
Okay, very cool.
He wasn't paid 30 pieces of half shekels.
Okay. Hey everybody, welcome into the Bee Hive. I'm your host, TheBee LLC. This is where we stack precious metals like it's pollen and nectar. Our pollen is silver, our nectar is gold, preserving our wealth as honey of old. And like ancient metals, we hold our own. And today we're going to be looking into some ancient coins and talking with Aaron Berk. And so hopefully he'll be joining shortly. Today I want to discuss his new buyer bid sale. They just released it a week or two ago. I reviewed it when it first came out, and I had some issues with my computer. It wasn't allowing me to play the videos from his website while I was live streaming. I tried a few things to clean up my computer. Did not work, so I had to go get another one yesterday. So I'm on a new laptop here, so hopefully things will go smoothly. And in the meantime here, while I'm waiting for Aaron to show up, I'm going to go ahead and pull up his website, his web page, Harlan J. Berk. And this is the landing page when you go to HJB, Harlan J. Berk Ltd. And of course, they're located in Chicago, Illinois, right downtown in the heart of the financial district. And they, of course, have a lot of great coins for sale. And it's not only ancients that they deal in. They have great modern day coins. And in fact, here's a little video right here of the Valkyries collection. And so if you're into walking,
rare estate in the
want to check that out. But of course, this particular channel is a little more dedicated to the ancient coins, and of course anytime I get a chance to talk with Aaron Berk, that's what I like to stick to. So we're going to jump over here to his buyer bid sale, which is, if you go when you get to his website up here at the top, you've got inventory, ways to shop, about us, services, publications, contact us. If you go to ways to shop, click on that, come down to the buyer bid sale. And that's what we're looking at today. I like to come over here to the filter and sort. And I like to go all departments, price highest to lowest in value. And then 90, so highest to lowest, number of items per page 90. And close that. And that's how I like to look through the products. I usually don't find as much interest in things when you get down under $500. So I like to look through the buyer bid sale in this method. We'll see what Aaron prefers here if he shows up. I'm going to send him a text right quick just in case. And here he is. Let me turn this back on. Bring him up. Aaron.
Yeah.
Welcome in. We are live. How are you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
I am doing well. Doing well. Yeah, I don't know. I just picked up a new laptop. My old one was having issues playing videos and sharing a page, so I don't know. That might be why. I don't know if I went to spam or.
I don't have spam set up, so I don't know. Maybe I missed it. Who knows?
Okay. No biggie. All right, cool. Well, great having you. Thanks for being here. How you doing? What's new down at Harlan J. Berk?
Swamped. Just have so much going on.
Yeah.
Been crazy.
Cool.
Been really busy with. I was just in Savannah, Georgia, last week for the midwinter ANA.
Yeah.
So that was cool, and now yeah, we launched a new catalog right before I left. So that's been kind of cuckoo. And just working on a lot of stuff going on. So,
all right, cool. Yeah, I actually wanted to just kind of look at your new buyer bid sale. I was very impressed with this one. There's a bunch of coins I wish I had out of this latest release. So, hope you don't mind looking through your own catalog here again today. But I got some questions and would like to look through them with you.
sure.
So do you have a preference in particular on how you look through your sales? Do you like to start with the lot number? I like going from highest value to lowest, but do you have a preferred way?
I like high to low.
Okay, cool. All right, well, let's go ahead and jump right in here. That guy, good to see you, Niels Hahn. Thanks for being here, guys. So yeah, lots of great stuff in this sale. Starting off, you've got your big marble sarcophagus fragment, which I got to see when I was down there.
Yep.
That is a very large piece. So
Yeah, it probably weighs about 300 pounds.
That's interesting. How you acquire these things is so interesting. I guess your name draws these things in, I suppose.
No, that one I bought it in an auction house.
Oh, okay.
That particular one.
And then your attic pottery sold as well. Yeah, it was a very nice piece. I got to look at that. And of course, your old attic Athens tetradrom. This is a very example example of the older style coin. Am I right?
Oh, yeah, it's a great coin. I got that on consignment from a collector, so wanted us to put it in our sale, so we did.
Okay. Not necessarily a pedigree that I'm seeing, but very well centered, very good art.
I think he got it out of some more recent European auction, from what I remember.
Okay.
I even have the receipt here on my desk. I can't remember now. I have so much shit on my desk. Yeah, here it is. He bought it from Rex Numismatics in 2024, and they didn't have an earlier pedigree either.
Okay. Not much for I noticed there's no headdress on Athena there. It's just kind of a bald cap instead of the
it's there. It's just off the flan.
Is it? Okay, just because it looks very well centered actually. It must, and quite thick.
Yeah, different style. They may not have had the headdress for that one in the same style as the other ones because it's pretty early Persian War type.
Okay. Then coming down up next really caught my eye, of course, the year of the crucifixion shekel.
Yep.
So obviously it being the year of the crucifixion is where we're getting this price tag, 8,500.
Yep.
So tell me
a little. The date is right above the club on the reverse. The PNO.
Okay.
That's the date. 33.
Oh, cool. Interesting.
3334.
PNO stands for 3334, huh?
Yeah, yeah, they're dated right on the coin.
Cool. And this one seems pretty well centered.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean it's abrasive surfaces, but nice style, and just tough to get a crucifixion year.
Crucifixion year, well centered, pretty worn down. But and another question I had about this. So this is a full shekel,
Yep,
and they also had half shekels. Was that the two different denominations this coin generally comes in?
that's the only two. I think they may have done a quarter, but it's pretty rare. But yeah, pretty much just the half shekel and the shekel. And the half shekel was actually used for the temple tax for the youth.
I came up with 5,000 out of the first four and 9,000 out of the group.
So it was each male, the oldest male of every family, had to pay a half shekel every year into the temple.
Temple tax, yeah. So, and probably the regular shekels were all used as well. Would that
Well,
be?
yeah.
So,
I mean, they didn't care about crucifixion. It wasn't important to them. So
sure, sure.
they were Jews. They didn't,
Right.
Christianity didn't become a real thing until after Constantine the Great,
Right.
about 500-600 years
300,
later.
400 years later, right? Yeah.
And really, the first portrait wasn't until Justinian II, which is in 7th century, something like that.
Which is a kind of funny looking portrait anyway.
Yeah, it's very Zeus-like.
So which is more popular in the ancient now today? Is the half shekel or the shekel more sought off of? Really?
Shekel, because of the mention in the Bible of Judas being paid 30 pieces of silver, which would have been these.
Would have been the shekels probably instead of the like. I wondered if the half shekel was more sought after than the shekel for collectors.
No.
Or it really doesn't.
No, the full shekel, because that's what Judas was paid.
Okay, very cool.
He wasn't paid 30 pieces of half shekels.
Okay. That's what I didn't know, but one of the two. So yeah, that's very cool. Okay, let me get.
But the half shekels are probably a little rarer than the full shekels. So
okay.
The reason they use the Phoenician shekel was because they knew it to be a full silver, because there was no silver being issued in Israel at that time. So that was the local currency at the time.
Yeah, which I was quite surprised to see that they used something with Melkart, another god, on there, right?
Because it was the money that was issued nearby in Phoenicia, not in Israel, and so that's just what was circulating in Israel at the time. The only time that the Jews ever had their own silver was when they were doing revolts against the Romans.
Just following, and that's what you call the how do you say it? Bar Kokhba or something.
So first it was the Jewish War, which was 5 years against the Romans under Vespasian, and then you had the Bar Kokhba War that was under Hadrian.
Okay.
Much later.
And then were they, so that first part you mentioned, were they minting coins for that first 5 years too?
They were. Yeah, those are the first 5 years of the Jewish war, which has the chalice on one side, and the fig leaves on the reverse.
Okay, yeah.
So, and then in the Bar Kokhba, they didn't issue coins. Well, they did. What they did, they didn't prepare planchets. So what they were doing is they were actually heating up local provincial silver coinage by the Romans and restriking the coins with the tetradrachms, which they were using Syrian tetradrachms for that. It had the temple on one side with the Torah in the center. And then they also did what was called zezuzahs, they were overstriking denarii. And sometimes you can see the undertypes of the Roman coins underneath them. So like, for instance, there was just a Zazuzza that sold at Triton, where you could see the head of Vespasian really well, which was pretty interesting because they were taking a coin that was minted 100 years earlier and restriking it under Hadrian when they had their revolt.
Yeah, I've seen you talk about that. That is pretty cool and interesting.
People pay a huge premium when you can really see the undertype well.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that's cool.
But in the first Jewish War, they were actually making their own planchets and striking coins.
Oh, okay. Awesome. Okay, and then we're moving down. Another coin I really liked is this Macedonia Alexander the Third. Is this Alexander the Great, or is this his brother? So
no. Alexander the Great is the third.
Is the third, and then what? But so is his brother, right? That just ruled for like a little while after him, or something.
His brother was Philip the Third.
Philip the Third. Okay, that's how I would make the distinction. It says Philip. Okay.
Yep.
And obviously the year this is within Alexander. Right. So this was
scroll down. Sometimes they're posthumous. Scroll down. I don't remember if this was. It might have been a lifetime. No, it's posthumous. So that one's made
311 to 305. Okay. Yeah. Yep. But this is a mint state, and I noticed it also has a nice pedigree back pre-70.
Did the Jewish planchets have a nick cut out of them, or did that start later? I don't know what you mean by a nick.
You mean the around the edges or something? Yeah, I don't know what he's talking about there exactly.
Because if there was a nick, that means somebody test cut it.
Right.
Because they didn't have nicks. So
yeah, I'm not sure.
You're laughing, so maybe that was a joke too. I don't know. I'm not really sure.
Yeah, I'm not following that one either. Maybe you can clarify a little bit of that guy. So yeah, now can you tell me a little bit about it's pretty common in under Alexander the Great. Is that where you see the most of this coin type issued, this design? Because it's also
that's the issue that they used for his gold staters during his life and then after his life, and they kept using them throughout the Seleucids. Ptolemy the First used them at first.
So down into the maybe 200, 100 BCs, couple hundred years afterwards still?
At least 100 years, yeah.
Okay. Was there more issued during his reign, during Alexander, or at Prostimus? Was there quite a few more probably?
So because Alexander was at war his entire reign, he never was at peace. As soon as he took control, he was at war for the entire time, and they were taking over in a lot of mints and actually taking a lot of gold and silver. And so a lot of the striking didn't happen until they were done with the war after Alexander's death. There are obviously lifetime issues that were being used to pay the soldiers while they were actually fighting, but they definitely it's more common to find posthumous issues because when they came back from the war and settled, they were striking a ton of coins.
Gotcha, that makes sense. Sure.
So they finally had the chance to sit back and just strike coins. They had a lot of treasure. Don't forget, they had the entire treasure of the Persians.
Right. All those derricks, which was the main money of that.
Correct.
Previous time.
They were melting all those down and restriking. So, I mean, they're definitely, they could probably figure it out eventually with some scientific study. I know that somebody's doing a study right now of Persian sigilloi to find out on a molecular structure. They're going to be doing testing at, I believe, Argonne Lab, and they're going to be determining whether there was a treasure that the Persians actually, when they conquered somebody, they had the treasure, and they're going to try to figure out if that's the treasure is the same composition from the region where it would have taken that are in these coins now.
Oh, wow, cool.
So, that's cool. And you could even argue that the gold and silver, that mostly gold, that was stolen out of the Egyptian tombs, because you got to remember, most of the tombs of Egypt of the great pharaohs was stolen in ancient times, And the only reason why King Tut is famous is because we found his tomb intact. And it's a really small closet in comparison. I've been there. It's really tiny in comparison to the rest of the pharaoh's tombs. It looks like a broom closet. That's why it went undiscovered for so long. But and all the gold that was still in King Tut's tomb, it was massive. So you can't even imagine how much would have been in, say, Ramses or Akhenaten or one of his tombs. It would just been, Tutankhamun's treasure would have been dwarfed in comparison, not even close. So, but my guess is that a lot of the Greeks first, and then the Romans probably took a lot of that treasure out, melted it down, and made it into coins. So you could probably say that a lot of the Roman gold might have come from Egyptian, those tombs at one point, because a lot of the Egyptian gold didn't survive, So
that's amazing, and through testing we might be able to figure out, like you're saying, a bit more about that. So that,
And also when Titus sacked the Jewish temple after the first Jewish revolt, they took all the gold and silver out of the great temple, brought it back to Rome, and then eventually built the Colosseum with that. So they would have had to melt all that down and issue it into coins. So a lot of probably the shekels that were taken out of the temple were probably melted down and made into denarii.
Yeah, something like that.
And to pay for that work. So, because they wouldn't have, they could have just taken the shekels, and they may have just taken the shekels and reissued them out to pay. It's possible.
Yeah, sure.
But some of it may have been melted down as well and turned into other money.
Makes sense.
So, there was a time too where certain emperors were so unliked by the ones that conquered them that they would sometimes melt down their coinage and restrike the coins because they wanted to obliterate them from existence. So, and the only time you really have a rare guy that is found in quantity is because it was a hoard that was buried and not found for 2,000 years. So,
interesting.
Makes your hands, shekels makes everybody's like, how much, how many shekels, still used today, which is
yeah. So so moving on to this lot here. This is the Bithynia Heraclea Pontica Timotheus and Dionysus Tyrants diagram. I'd never seen this before.
I don't see your
thanks. Let me bring it up here.
Yeah, that's a very rare coin.
Okay, and on the, I guess it would be the obverse, we have the head of Dionysus, and I was wondering, because I'm looking at another coin I'm very interested that has Dionysus on it, and they both seem to have this little thing at the top of the head here.
That's corn.
Corn.
Yeah, looks to be corn.
Wow, interesting. Okay, and then it is listing it that it's Hercules on the reverse.
Sure.
With a ram's head underneath.
You can see the lion skin hanging off of his arm.
Okay. Yeah. Right there. Okay. Yep. I see. And he's got kind of one of his right hands kind of up over his head. I don't know if that's.
He's gonna beat it.
That's what it looks like. It's like he's gonna go ahead and slap that. That around a little bit.
He's playing a little Michael Jackson right now.
Right. Okay, and it goes back to 1896. So this has a nice pedigree with it as well.
Not really corn, it's more like wheat. That's probably what it is. I said corn and not wheat. Sorry.
Yeah. Well, it's interesting. I mean, it has a unique look. Actually, on this next piece that we'll look at is even a little more unique looking. So I just had not seen that coin before. And and then we get down here, this Sicily Leonati. This was a very mint state looking coin. I wasn't too fascinated by the art, but I thought it was very well struck.
Yeah, that's pronounced Leontini.
Leontini. Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Very well centered, but and very, very clean coin.
Yep. A good collector of mine bought that.
So, but right next to it is what has really caught my eye since I
Yeah, Thebes. That's a great Thebes. And you can see it's got the Hercules club.
Hercules Club.
There.
Yeah, I didn't realize that at first, and when I went back later and looked at this a little closer, I was like, "Oh, that's not a." I thought at first it was like a crack or a problem,
like a die flaw or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I
No,
was
it's
like,
club.
"Oh." And then I played the video, and I'm like, I mean, this is just immaculate in my opinion. I have fallen in
He
love.
did it upside down, but it's okay. You can still see it.
Okay, so it's supposed to be flipped. Okay.
Yeah, I would have put the club on top, but it was probably easier for orientation for him when he was flipping it.
Okay. Now, okay, and again, so on this one, we have that same little, if that's wheat or corn or what, or I thought maybe grapes, because doesn't Dionysus?
It's probably wheat. It could be grapes, but I'm thinking wheat.
Okay. With the ivy leaves there,
Yeah.
right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And then is this to do with Boeotia? Is that an
Yeah,
O?
that's probably part of the city name.
And then is this supposed to be an E maybe down here as well for Isha, Boeotia, something?
It could be a BO going backwards, like retrograde.
Gotcha. So for these Boeotian coins, they always have the shield. I've never seen it with the club on there, and then I've never seen the reverse with Dionysus on it.
Yeah, they come up pretty. I mean, it's not a rarity. It's just scarcer, but they definitely come up. There's a lot of them.
Okay.
And there's a lot of different types with the different designs other than the amphora. The amphora, I think, was just more of the standard type, but you get a lot of these more interesting ones that have different reverse types.
If you go to like AC Search or Coin Archives, you search Thebes and then put it, and then put it by high to low, you'll probably see a ton of the expensive ones that have different reverse designs like that.
Okay, and you've got it at mint state. It goes back to 2011.
Yeah,
for pedigree. So I thought,
my dad, he grades the coin. Sometimes I think he overgrades. I would probably call this more like probably a VF, EF type coin. I wouldn't call it mint state.
Okay.
It was a Epstein joke. Well, there's a lot of Epstein jokes right now, so that makes sense.
Yeah. So I don't know. I really like this coin.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, it's a great coin.
I don't know. It's got a pretty high price tag on it, but evidently
that's why people play the buy bid game.
Yeah, no doubt. It's got me on the edge of my seat anyway. And then up next we have this one. I wanted to ask you a little bit about this Ptolemaic Alexander Tetradrachm.
Yeah.
So it says Ptolemy the First in the name and types of Alexander as a satrap struck in Memphis, 322 to 321. So that's is that right after his death? Or
yeah, it says right after his death, and those were the first coins that were issued under Ptolemy the First after he took over Egypt.
Okay.
So he was the satrap of Egypt, later basically became the king of Egypt, and his line then lasted for 300 years. But in the beginning, he was actually issuing coins still with Alexander's likeliness on it, and then he went to a portrait of himself.
Okay.
He's probably one of the only ones that switched. And usually the rose symbol like that, it's either from Rhodes or Memphis. Okay. And in this case, because of the combination under the delta and the I under the throne with that rose combination, that comes from Memphis.
And yeah, now I noticed you put a pretty good price tag on this for what I'm used to seeing you list these at. And obviously it's like you say in here, a high relief, and on that reverse you get it looks like it's really popping out of the coin.
Yeah, and Memphis traditionally has always brought more money because it's Egypt, and so the Egypt mint Alexanders have always brought a premium.
Okay. Yeah, I was just kind of wondering about that information. Very, Very nice coin. Got a little nick there on the chin, kind of a rub or a gouge of some sort. But
Yeah, the reverse is tremendous.
reverse is really pops out there, doesn't it? That's
Yeah,
nice.
it does. Yeah.
Okay, moving along. And then this one was interesting to me. The Brudium.
Yeah.
I had not.
From
Let's
Trina.
This I was also interested in. Looks like there's quite a few cracks. Pretty cool art though.
Yep.
Tell me a little. What do you think about this coin?
Brudium is one of the early mints in Greece in southern Italy, actually. The Greeks were running southern Italy at the time. And you can see it has a nice old pedigree back to 1909, which is so nomos, which is standard denomination for that period there. But these early Turinas, are pretty well popular for collecting and things like that. And the nice pre-1970 pedigree is a nice plus.
Yes. And I thought it was a very nice obverse. The art was pretty clean and pretty and nice.
Yep.
The reverse. So explain me this. How it looks to me. I guess it must just be the wear on the die, but the reverse, which I would think would be cupped in a little bit in the once they stamp it, it has a little bit of a cupping on the reverse. It seems to me.
I think it's more like, actually bring up the video. It may be more just the photo.
Okay. Is that I was surprised. It almost looked like there was more wear on that side, but I suppose it's just.
I mean, it's possible. It could have been a worn reverse die as well.
Yeah.
So, I mean, the dies do wear separately, differently. Sometimes you might have a reverse die or an obverse die that, dies out before the other side does. And so they'll grab a die and restrike the coins. So you can see it's not really cupped, it's
right.
Maybe a little bit on the far right, but that's just the way the coin kind of folded a little bit just because of the way it was struck. But yeah, they'll do die links when they're studying these things. And sometimes you'll have the same obverse die, but a different reverse die because the die wore out or whatever on the reverse, or vice versa. So, you can see die links sometimes between the two based on when the die was being struck.
And it looks like to me, this looks like some common wear. Like this looks like it went through some people's hands and pockets that, like, you can kind of see a sheen of wear there, right? On this one, am I right about that? Yeah. And then what about the cracks on? They come pretty deep here on the reverse.
Yeah, I mean, it's stable. It might have been like that in ancient times. It could have happened over time, but I doubt it. It could have just been the way the coin was struck at the time. Sometimes silver was already crystallized when they were striking it. In some cases, because the crystallization actually happens over thousands of years, and so it can definitely, they could definitely strike a crystallized piece of silver. So that is definitely a possibility. In this situation, it's pretty strong. It's not, the whole coin's not going to fall apart or break. So
yeah. Okay. So yeah, I didn't know, how you treat.
You'd really have to. The coin would be completely, you'd see the crystallization throughout the whole coin if it was to that point. And normally, really thick Greek coins like this will have cracks. That just happens sometimes.
Okay. Yeah. I didn't know. That looked kind of deep, and you can see a little bit of it on the obverse, but like you say,
the fact that you don't see it all the way through on the obverse means it's not all through, and it's really not a problem. So
gotcha. Okay. Would you what level of detriment does that add to the coin if those cracks weren't there? Would you put that at $8,000 or $6,000 or?
No, it doesn't really have any effect for me.
Doesn't really have enough. Okay, that's what I'm interested in. Okay, then coming down, and of course, I was looking at getting this Lucania. I ended up missing it because I had to go buy another computer, but I really liked this one. It had a little bit of a die crack on the obverse, or at least there's this little crack right there. That has no effect either.
That's a surface crack. It's not even a crack.
That's what I thought. I couldn't see it on the reverse.
Yeah.
So, how is this rank? I know, I talked to you in a previous auction about picking this coin up, and it was the coin we were looking at, I think went for 6,500, and it was, much more mint state or no wear that I could see on that other coin. How does this rank, do you think, amongst these coins? Do you see a lot of them? How does this one rank amongst the rest that you're used to seeing? What can
I think it's in the mid-level range.
Yeah. Okay. It's a very pretty coin. Very well centered. Got some good toning. A clean silver look to it, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Not that you're missing the bull tail there, but other than that, you pretty much got the everything you're looking for. So
yeah, I took that up from a consignor in Baltimore area, and actually I just paid him yesterday.
Cool.
I like to pay people as the sale goes by. I just rather just pay them immediately. A lot of auction houses will sit on the money for, 2 months. I don't. I try to get rid of it as fast as I can.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. Now, how rare? Every time I miss this coin, it kind of turns my stomach a little bit. But I've noticed a few others. Are there more coming on lately?
Well, there was a big group maybe within the last 5 years.
Okay.
So I don't think there's a new group, but I think
there's enough going around that I shouldn't be too worried about. Finding another one of those. Okay, and then we come down, and I noticed this one, for as far as Athenian owls, this one you put a pretty good price tag on for what I'm used to, and you got, like you say, the full headdress here.
It's not really the full headdress, but it's a little bit different issued reverse owl. Can you scroll down? I want to see what T-Tex is.
Yes. Welcome in, Cranky, West Texas Stacker. Good to see you guys.
No, it's a standard type, I guess. My dad just really liked it.
That's what I must kind of really pop in hand.
Well, you can see the video.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's got all its luster.
Yeah.
It's got all the original surfaces on it, and it's got really nice color.
Pretty much the full design. I mean, the top of the headdress might be a bit missing, but and then the owl is really well done.
Yeah, but it just has a lot of its original surfaces.
Okay. And it looks to be maybe a little bit more high relief than some of them.
Yeah. I would say so. Again, I mean, it hasn't sold yet, so people don't think it's that great of a deal.
Yeah. Well, I'm looking at it. I mean, now for a grade, I haven't seen this much. Again, like you say, maybe this is from your dad.
Yeah, I think my dad stretched a little bit higher than he probably should have. So, but yeah, they're amazing coins. So, I would say it's more like a $2,500 coin, honestly.
Yeah. Okay, no, it doesn't look to be a pedigree on it, so just a very nice coin.
No, it's part of, there's so many of these, it's hard to record. Plus, there was a big group of them about 2017, so something like that.
Okay, yeah, I mean, that's what I'm kind of waiting on one. I don't have one at the moment, so I'm kind of waiting for something that really stands out, which this one does to an extent.
It does.
Anyway, okay, and then moving on, the Carthaginian tetradrachm, that's not too bad. I didn't really like the reverse of that.
Mm-hmm. Looked a lot of people don't like the Cyclopean because they think it's a little too crude. The way that they do their Arethusa's, they don't really like them. They're a little cruder in the nose, typically.
Okay, and then moving on to the next lot is, I really did like the reverse on this. Mm-hmm. Or I guess, is this the obverse on this coin?
That's the obverse. Syracuse
the horses first.
Gotcha. Now I didn't really like is that Arethusa again? Probably. Yeah. I thought I wasn't too big on that Arethusa. The Dolphins aren't too bad, but the obverse I thought was, I mean, it's kind of a little bit of a wore out die perhaps, but very well centered, very well struck. What do you think about this coin?
Thanks, Guy. Baller Stream. I like that. Yeah, no, I like it. I think it's, it's not, I've seen much better, obviously, but the price is really fair for what it is. It's a nice, solid Syracuse coin, decent artwork, and it's not a, break the bank. Because, these in high grade, those are 6,000 to 8,000 plus.
Right. And it also looks like
it's fairly priced. Scroll down. Does it have an old pedigree too? Can you scroll down?
It does, yeah. Well, you can't see it. Yeah.
Plus it's got a 1945 sales. So that's pre-1970 as well, which always adds a lot of value.
So that's possibly not too bad. If you can put up with the Arethusa art, it's not a bad.
Well, I mean, pedigree makes a nice early pedigree makes things look a lot prettier.
Okay, yeah.
Typical.
All right, very, very cool to know. Moving along, yeah, just so many things in this. So I really like it.
I mean, we had 703 ancient coins in the sale.
Okay, what next grabbed my eye? Really nice. What do you call this? Aeolus sign?
It's Kime from Aeolus.
Aeolus. Okay.
Kime is the name of the city.
That was a really pretty coin.
In Asia Minor and Turkey.
Is that one of the nicer? Let's see what's it. Mint state anyway.
Yeah, it's okay. I mean, they're pretty standard types that they come up pretty often. This is one coin in particular that always comes mainly in high grade, and so a lot of the people who like to slab with NGC will buy these coins raw to try to give them in high designated holders. So because they are popular, but yeah, that's very pretty, very nice obverse type. I will really like the style of the hair. They can have a lot of different styles based on who the die cutter was, and that's actually pretty well done.
Okay, cool. Yeah, and I actually thought the horse was pretty good. The head is maybe a bit off, but some of the horses are not very impressive. It's kind of one of the things I'm looking for on these coins. But this one was pretty good, aside from the head bothers me a bit. But yeah, overall nice.
I'll say it like kind of like an old rhyme pun. Of course, a horse, of course.
Nice. Cranky Stacker is asking, how often do coins or collections tend to go up for sale? I mean, pretty steadily, I suppose.
All the time. Like here, this collection just came in a couple minutes ago. So
hold on, let me pull you up here. Okay. Wow.
So this just came in. I just got this by FedEx. Some pretty nice coins. Here's a nice Bactrian tetragram.
Oh yeah. Okay, yeah, that's an older style.
Here's a nice Catania from Sicily.
Oh yep, okay. Looks like a nice piece. Nice toning.
Here's a nice Antiochus VII. Pretty nice.
Antiochus or Antiochus? Who knows?
So yeah, so this lady, her brother used to buy from us, and he died 10 years ago, and she thought she had already sold all his stuff, but she found this group of coins in the closet 10 years later. So she just FedExed them to me.
Nice. Okay, so then we have another Syracuse tetragram, a little bit cheaper. We go back to 1995 on this one. Nothing too overall impressive. I do like the art of the horse on the reverse there.
It's a nice, honest coin, well balanced on both sides, generally speaking. You got to remember, Syracuse is the most popular of all the Greek coinage to collect, and this particular period in general is very, very well desired, I should say.
Okay, the 450 to 440 BC.
Any of the Syracuse from that period, yeah.
Okay, where does it kind of stop? The Syracuse, like the 3?
Well, I think the Cyclopunic, which is a little bit later, like you just said, it looked a little cruder. People don't like those as much. I mean, I have a client that collects Syracuse, and he never liked the Cyclopunic, so he wouldn't buy them. But I would say the Cyclopunic's not as popular as the Syracuse stuff. So after kind of the Cyclopunic, and then you get into the Romans, and that's it. It's over.
And the Cyclopunic, that's after the Carthaginians came in. Is that where you're getting that?
Well, that's the Carthaginian Cyclo. It's Cyclo.
Okay, thank you. Okay, yep.
So
Yeah.
so that's when they were running. They took over Syracuse, and they were issuing coins
Gotcha.
and mixing North African Punic artwork with the Syracuse stuff. That's why they call it Cyclopunic, because it's Sicily and Punic mixed.
Ah, okay. Hey, Think Differently, welcome in. Over from Australia, joining us here. Okay, we've got an Acarnania, and Think Differently actually collects ancients as well. So,
oh, nice.
yeah. Acarnania, this one I've seen. I like the bullhead design. I've seen a little bit nicer ones from you before.
Yep.
But I don't know. I just thought I would.
These typically come poorly made, so that's kind of par for the course.
Does have a pedigree.
But again, it has 1941 pedigree. So
Pedigree.
nice.
All right. I wanted to get to some of the other ones, taking a little bit too long. Nice attic Aegina Stater. Now I have one of these that's fairly similar to this. It doesn't have as much dots, even though these are pretty worn down. Mine are even wore down more. I can barely see the left and right dot. And that's the second issue, right? When there's a dot on each side of that row.
Yeah, but it's still the beginning issues because that's the sea turtle.
Because
They
it's
didn't
the
work
sea
the land
turtle.
turtle till later.
And so you're almost at $1,000 over what mine was. They're very similar. This one shows those dots just a bit more. And that's what I found. Just another dot or two can be like, $500.
Until it sells, we don't know what the price is until it sells.
True. But I just noticed a little, those dots seem to add quite a bit of
Yeah, that's a desirable thing for sure.
price to them.
So there's the Barkokba ones we were talking about. Those are Barkokba Zuzuzas.
Okay.
So
What
you
is-
can see they're overstruck on Roman silver at the time.
Okay, and the ring, what's the ring around those letters? What is it, like a chain looking thing?
It's a wreath.
Just a wreath, okay.
Yeah.
With wheat.
It has Hebrew in the center.
Oh.
Usually says for the freedom of Israel or something along those lines.
Oh, okay.
Or something Jewish related.
Very cool. I have not seen that Hadrian gold coin before.
Yep. That's actually minted in the Black Sea.
Ah, there you go.
So those come out of Ukraine, Russia.
Yeah. And then the Troas. What's up with this coin? This
rare coin, like scarcer coin, really well done. I think it also had a pedigree, didn't it?
2019.
I guess not that old, 2019. I thought it was older. But yeah, no, it's a nice coin.
Reverse is kind of cool. In 5th century, so 400s, huh?
Yep.
Somewhere
Yeah,
in
you've got a palm tree or tree with grapes on either side, and you have a hippocamp on the uppers, most likely.
Hippocamp, and that is just a winged horse, kind of like.
Yeah. Sometimes they're seahorses, sometimes they're.
Oh.
But it's a winged horse basically. I don't know what we called that. We may have called it Pegasus too. I don't know.
Okay, some basics. Oh, and then I thought this was a nice Julius Caesar denarius as far as the.
That was a great one.
I thought, yeah, all around. Usually the elephant really puts me off, but I thought this was a pretty decent looking piece all around. So.
Yep. And that Nero next to it was really nice too, with the architectural theme on the back. That's Nero's like his I forget what they call it, the store or whatever. It's
okay.
where they had the supplies.
Cool. Then you have an old Ionia. This has the swastika on the back or close to it. I always think that's cool how far that symbology goes.
Yeah, I mean, it's more, it is, but it's an incuse, so but it's probably more of an incuse. It just looks like a swastika, but it's more of just an incuse design. But yeah, the swastika goes all the way back to the Minoans and the Mycenaeans, way before, like thousands of years.
And do we think that we just kind of think it was motion meaning, or do we know?
Yeah. I mean, the Nazis ruined it.
Yeah, right.
It was used in artwork for thousands of years.
Yeah, I guess that even the Native Americans here in America use that a lot as well for some reason.
I mean, it's a pretty simple design, honestly. So
yeah,
but it also very close to the Triskelis, and probably the Triskelis is what kind of came out of it. So
okay. And so this is 550 to 450, very early, a hectare, 2.5 grams. And Hercules wearing a lion skin. I noticed here Hercules doesn't have a beard here either, or is it there and it's just not so
probably
visible?
not that visible, but it's, different designers making different things. That's all.
Okay, but obviously this design as well goes right back to early coinage.
Oh yeah, it's 100 years after the birth of coinage.
Yeah. Okay. Okay, time's already running away on me here. Okay, and then here's your regular Boeotian stater that I'm used to seeing. Nice coin.
Yep.
Very well centered, but I'm really in love with now that Hercules club on there and Dionysus. I really like that piece.
Yeah, that's a nice coin.
Thinking about that one. What else here? The gold bee, that little gold bee that is like lot number 1.
Oh yeah, that's cool. That's at the beginning of coinage.
Yeah, if I didn't notice what that was till I went and read about it, but I would like, if you come across another one, I'd be interested in that one too. So
okay.
The Lucania stater here, this was kind of interesting. I like these coins. And this was kind of this is the 3/4 facing. Is that how you would call that?
Yep, exactly.
And not the maybe best art, but kind of something that draws me.
Yeah, it really comes down to the eyes, and this one's not so bad. Sometimes you get kind of kooky eyes, and that can ruin the whole design.
And again, pre-70, so a nice pedigree. It's got the bull head on there. I think you called it something different in here. Bucranium. Sure. That was doing for me, but cool coin. So okay, and then this Ionia Miletos. I had not seen this very often. It's kind of boxed in, and is that a lion looking back over his shoulder, kind of?
Yep.
And then the punch on the reverse is pretty unique as well.
Yep.
Yeah. 600 to 550. So this is really stretching back there.
Yeah, it's about 50 years after the beginning of coinage.
Yeah.
Beginning of coinage is 650. So you're right there.
Right.
Yeah, we sold this to our client back in, I think, 2003, it says, and he just gave it back to us on consignment.
Okay.
So you asked how we get coins. That's another way.
Yeah.
Back things to sell.
Yeah.
All the time.
So I had not. Is this kind of a rare coin then?
Yeah, it's definitely scarcer. You don't see those very often, and he bought that 25 years ago.
Gotcha. Okay, and then let's see. So then there's quite a few Alexanders. Nothing.
Hey, Guy, you're in rare form today.
He is. He can be in rare form time to time. He's always entertaining. What else? If something you see, holler if you see something that is interesting that I wouldn't know.
I like that one, the 124, because it's got the prow of the ship on either side. I think that's pretty cool, tight. And you can see, you see right in the reverse, the all-seeing eye. We've talked about that before.
Yeah. Yep.
and you've got a bird flying on the reverse. I think it's just a cool thing.
Yeah, that is interesting. It's probably supposed to be an eagle.
It's, you know, you won't really, unless it came from a hoard that was published in the early, 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s, you won't know exactly where coins were found. It's very, very difficult to know. So because, back in the day, when there was more open borders with this stuff, they recorded where they found all the hoards. And since they created more laws, they've created more black market. And so a lot of stuff is taken out of the ground and never recorded where it's found, because the smugglers or the people who find these things illegally, back in the day, they would record all that, or the people that they would buy them from would say, well, where'd you find this? And they tell them exactly where, and they would, record the find. And now they're not doing that anymore. So
yeah, and that's what Rock Moss here is just asking. Is it ever said where these coins are found? And
well, that's what I was answering him.
That's what you're answering. Yeah, that's such a frustrating thing at the moment.
So occasionally you'll see where it'll say from the hoard of 1920, and there you can actually go up and look and find stuff about that hoard, and it'll give you exactly the find spot and all that stuff. So you'll see that occasionally when you're looking at ancient coins. It'll actually say if it's from a famous hoard that's recordable.
Yeah, and so of course, if I'm understanding right, we would like to see them, allow for these finds to be documented, noted, and not have people get in trouble for finding.
Right. Well, what happens is, and I've made this argument many times, is that the more laws you create, the more of a black trade you create, and the higher the values go, because it means that everything that is pre-1970, which is part of the UNESCO treaty that says that museums and institutions couldn't buy anything that wasn't looted after the pre-1970 date. So, because you got to remember, everything was looted at one point, whether it was legally or illegally. And so most of the museums in the world are full of artwork that was taken out in the 20s, 30s, and earlier. So, most of the source countries would say they want it all back, but most museums in the world is not about to empty it out to send it back to the source country, especially some countries that are broken, like Syria or other places where they don't even have the funds or the resources to actually protect these things. In fact, when the last war in Syria happened, ISIS was going around and blowing up sites.
Yeah, I think
didn't align with their religious beliefs. 312.
Yeah, I think there's some big stories there. I would really like.
Well, they destroyed Palmyra, which was a very famous site.
Right.
Oh,
I find it very interesting that they targeted those things. I think that's
well, they took all the little things that they could sell, and then anything that was big, they just blew up.
Yeah, and so this is that early B that is in Electrum.
Did you need something?
What?
Did you need something?
Just for a minute.
Okay, what? I'm in a phone meeting right now.
I know you're normally on the phone. 500, 1,500 each one of these. 400 there and 400 there.
Okay, doesn't really matter, but okay.
I know.
I'm actually not on the phone. I'm actually I'm on a live thing, and people are hearing you talk. So,
hello back there.
Yeah, it was my dad. He always likes to interrupt me.
No, that's awesome. I love having him come in and hear him in the background. So I'm surprised there must be better examples of this for them to call this a B, because I can kind of see it, but at the same time.
Oh, just remember early on there was your dad knows things. Yeah, he's also forgotten a lot of things too. But it's okay.
Yeah, no, I love hearing him in the background. What else? I think we're out of time pretty much, but yeah, boy, guys, go check this latest buyer bid sale out. Lots of coins in here I really like. Couple I still am thinking about, even though a couple did get away from me. I covered this. You released this, and I was within the half hour I was reviewing it. And by the time I was done reviewing it, like most of the coins I was after were already sold. So you sold a lot of nice coins within a very short time of the release, I thought. So yeah, very cool buyer bid sale here. A nice 8 reals as well. Some cool bone dice.
Yeah, those are huge, actually. They're much bigger. Go to the video. They're much larger than I've ever seen. They're pretty
Really?
big size. Yeah, that's how big they are.
Yeah.
Usually they're about half that size.
Okay.
Those are
And
really
they're
nice.
in pretty good shape too, it looks
Oh
like.
yeah, they're great. When I was in New York, I saw a dealer had those, so I grabbed them.
Cool. Yeah, how cool is that? What do you have for date on these? Like, I should have checked.
Normally they're around, what do I
First
have?
century.
Yeah, that's about typical. First, second century, in that range. And they're
When-
usually made out of bone or ivory.
Cool. Yeah, bone or ivory, right? I heard that often they're listed as bone, but they could be ivory as well.
Well, these days, everybody, if it's ivory, everybody calls it bone because you can get in trouble for listing anything in ivory.
Right.
So just by default, everybody says bone
Bone, sure.
because you can't tell the difference anyway. So who cares?
Right. These cylinder seals I find cool too because they date back. Well, let's just check the date here you got on this one. They go back a little earlier, don't? Yeah. Wow. Well, no. What is that? Yeah, to 2600 to 2334 BC. Woo. So yeah, that really reaches back there. So some of these are pretty cool too. And are they usually carved out of like a rock or agate or what's usually?
Yeah, agate, stone, marble, lapis, some types of quartz, red jasper, all kinds of things. Things that are carvable.
Right. Yeah.
And they're all drilled through so you can actually they wore them.
Oh.
Times, or they put them on a string.
Yeah. Cool. Interesting. And that was kind of like their seal for their area.
Yeah, they would use it on cylinder seal. I mean, on cuneiform tablets sometimes. Their seal, all kinds of interesting things.
All right. Well, we're down to the 500s. I usually lose a bit of interest under there. Some nice Prutas underneath the 500 mark. Some other cool stuff. Syria here. This is in Syria with an ugly eagle on it. What is this piece? 167.
That's the Seleucids. So these are the Seleucids. The Seleucus the first was one of Alexander's general, took over that region, and so this is one of the descendants of Seleucus.
Okay. Right on. All right. Well, I better let you go, Aaron.
Yeah, it's lunchtime. I'm starved.
All right. Really appreciate it.
I'm not going to eat any coins though. So
No.
I'm not going to drink anything Guy's been drinking.
No doubt, man. Well, be careful with anything that.
Hey, Guy, if you got anything I can snort, send it my way, man.
Says everybody's blocked him. He thinks there's an email campaign out against him. I can't imagine why anyone would block you. Oh, that guy.
If you fuck the Middle East, you give birth to a demon. Yeah, that's probably true. Actually, I think the heat does something to everybody in those areas.
Is that what
Wherever there's unbelievable heat, you get crazy people. You guys are welcome. Enjoy, and until I see you next time.
All right. Perfect. Thanks, Aaron.
All right. Bye-bye.
Yep. All right, guys. Thank you so much for coming and hanging out. And yeah, any questions you guys have, always post them down below the video. Whether it be we're talking modern bullion, when I'm talking to Ian or even Aaron here, knows both pretty well, but obviously with ancient coins, this is a great place and a great person to ask about ancient coins. So any questions you guys have, reach out to me, let me know, and I'll try to include those in the next show. So thank you everybody for hanging out, and we will catch you all on the next one. Thanks everybody.